You're watching Taste the Victory.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we got a fan favorite deck in Gallantmon getting a new update in the recently released booster set EX3 Draconic Roar. So this is very awesome to see since it wasn't too long ago that we just got Gallantmon support in the TCG. This new one ups the ability for it to consistently put stuff in players' trashes to make use of its trash base effects, the trash security and stuff like that. Gallantmon is a deck that has a lot of control options to control your opponent's board while also being able to aggro and close out game from an early security count because of its effects like the upper end Gallantmon cards and Crimson mode. So like always, let's start at the bottom and work our way up to see how we support that strategy. First up are our eggs, and this time we are running 5, which is something I typically don't lean towards, but this one is pretty simple because both of them draw you 1. Let's look at the one we max out, which is Gigimon. Please tell me I'm pronouncing it right this time. I get a comment every video about that, but this one is inheritable when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Guilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in its name, draw 1. So a very simple condition to meet to draw 1, so we're going to max it out. And then Gurimon has a similar idea. When attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has 6,000 DP or more, draw 1. So similarly easy to meet, a little bit harder since you don't get to swing with your Guilmon and right away get a draw, but it's still really good, so we might as well toss it in there to make sure we always have a draw in case of grind games. After that, we move on to our rookies, of which we are running 12. Let's start with the base Guilmons first. First up is the one from the old starter deck. This one is 3 memory to hard slam, 0 to Digivolve from a level 2 that is red, 2000 DP. It has the main effect, your turn. If your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon in play, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Gallantmon in your hand for memory cost of 4, ignoring its Digivolution requirements, which basically lets you quickly warp up, skip the levels, which is a good comeback mechanic in a pinch. And then it has the inheritable, your turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, trigger, draw 1. So we have a lot of ways to control your opponent's board, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, so it's really nice to have that inheritable to draw. All these draw effects really help patch up a problem that draw has, which is typically not very good draw power, so we're going to max out on it. Then we have Guilmon from the booster set X2 set. This one is 3 memory to hard slam as well, except there's only 1000 DP. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, and 1 Takato Matsuki among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then it has the inheritable effect when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. That search is fantastic because you always love to see cards in Digimon that grab you 2 off of your search. So the potential to grab a lot of stuff that we are missing off of this search is fantastic for consistency for this deck, so we are maxing it out. Then we have the one recently introduced in booster set 9. This is Guilmon X. 4 memory to hard slam, 3000 DP, can Digivolve for 0 from Guilmon specifically, and then when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Inheritable, your turn, add 1000 DP to the maximum you can choose with DP based deletion effects. Amazing effect there because it's on a rookie, so we can get some of our earlier DP based deletion effects up right away, which is really good to hit important levels. When stacked with other effects that do the same thing, that inheritable is really powerful and comes in super clutch in this deck, so it's a great one to max out for that, and also because it's a free evolution over your rookies, thus another free draw. Next up are our level 4s, and here we see the first new card introduced from X3, and that is the new Growlmon. So we are not running the Guilmon because it's a bit too slow for the purposes of this deck and this meta since it's an on deletion effect. But let's look at Growlmon. This one is actually a when Digivolving effect. It is 3 memory to Digivolve from a level 3 that is purple, which is quite a bit, but it can specifically Digivolve for 2 if the name contains Guilmon, ignoring color, so we can safely Digivolve over any of our rookies. It's 5000 DP. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks. When attacking once per turn, by deleting one of your other Digimon, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. This is an amazing card for the deck because it does so much together between its 2 effects. First of all, the potential to delete something there with 3000 is very nice, especially if you have a Guilmon X underneath it, because that increases that deletion effect by 1000, so you could potentially snipe some level 4s in Bloom Lord and stuff like that, so that's pretty nice. But typically, you're going to be going into this for its second effect, which is if no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks. This is really good to fill up your trash and your opponent's specifically to be able to get effects like Crimson Mode and the old Gallantmon live if you run that. So it's a really good utility there, and it's inheritable to get more security attack +1 with an easy condition is always nice because we want to be aggro. After that, we have the starter deck Growlmon. This is from the old Gallantmon starter deck. It is 4 memory to hard slam, has really cool art, 2 memory to Digivolve from a red level 3, 5000 DP, and it only has an inheritable effect. Your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. Great for extending turns and easy conditions to meet in this deck. deck. Then we have the Growlmon X. 5 memory to Heart Slam, 2 memory to Digivolve, 6000 DP, which is really big for a level 4. And then it has only an inheritable effect. Your turn, add 1000 DP to the maximum you can choose with DP-based deletion effects. Pair that with the Guilmon X, and it becomes really easy to hit large targets with that DP deletion-based effects on your level 6 Gallantmons. So it's awesome for the free draw over your level 4s, and you get to up your DP-based effects, which is huge to potentially delete giant bodies. Next, let's get to our level 5s. This is the new WarGrowlmon from X3. It is 8 memory to Heart Slam, which is quite a bit, 4 to Digivolve or a level 4 that is purple, which is also a lot, and 8000 DP, so that kind of justifies it. Then it has a special Digivolution requirement to Digivolve 3 from a level 4 with Growlmon in its name, which is a lot more reasonable for a level 5. It has the when Digivolving effect, trash the top 3 cards of both players' decks. Then, if you or your opponent's trash has 5 or more cards, you may play 1 Guilmon or Takato from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. This is incredibly important utility to the deck because Takato is an amazing card in this archetype. It lets you get Blitz, which lets you attack when passing turn and activate a lot of your effects, which is important for closing out games sometimes, and this lets you play one out for free. Being able to trash 3 is huge. The fact it's from both is also really nice because it fills up your opponent's trash for some of your Gallantmon's effects, and it fills up your own trash for this WarGrowlmon's effect. 5 is not a hard number to reach, especially with this WarGrowlmon effect, so it's really awesome to get that free early game Takato. And if you have it, a Guilmon is also pretty useful if you need to dig for something off of the on play one search. So this offers a lot of utility to the deck, and we need to max it out. After that is WarGrowlmon X. This one is 8 memory to Heart Slam as well, 8000 DP. It can Digivolve for 0 from WarGrowlmon. When Digivolving, until the end of your opponent's turn, 2 of their Digimon gain on deletion, lose 1 memory. Then if WarGrowlmon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 6000 or less and delete them. And then keep in mind, if we have a good stack underneath it like Growlmon or Guilmon X, we are in the 7000 and 8000 DP range. That then lets us delete a pretty good number of level 5s in the game, which could get us a lot of momentum potentially. And then the memory gain along with our level 4's memory gains really helps you extend plays for your turn. So this is awesome utility that is very valuable in this deck. We're going to have to max this bad boy out. And then for our last level 5, we have WarGrowlmon from the Gallantmon starter deck. Same stats, except this one is when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. We're not going to be using that too often, but if you have those effects that increase the DP threshold, it could potentially snipe something useful. Mainly you want it for that inheritable. Your turn, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So right away, this guy Digivolves over this WarGrowlmon for free, so that synergizes right there, immediately turning on the security attack +1 inheritable if you delete something with that. And then if you have Takato out, you can blitz more safely by going into a Gallantmon and passing turn with that security attack +1. So really good synergy there. I think there's probably some argument to maybe go like 3-2 just because it's really nice, but personally I really like this split just because like the utility of these two are really important. Alright, we got our level 6. This is the fun parts of the deck. So first up is this old Gallantmon. This is from all the way back in set 1.0, I believe. It is 12 memory to Heart Slam, 4 to Digivolve from a red level 5, 11,000 DP. And when Digivolving, if you have a red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. And that does pair up with our inheritables that increase the DP threshold, so we could potentially delete something bigger. And then it has when attacking, trash one of your opponent's security cards for every 10 cards in their trash. So WarGrowlmon, Growlmon, the ones from the X3, they do trash your opponent's trash as well. So it's a lot easier to set up the condition for this now, so this could potentially give us lethal a lot earlier than before. I really like this as a one of tech to potentially finish game if you have Takato out for Blitz. But it is pretty expensive at 4, so we're not going to run it entirely. There is memory gain and reduction effects here, but the other Gallantmons do more for their respective costs. Next up is the other Gallantmon. This one is from his own starter deck. It is 3 memory Digivolve from a level 5, 11,000 DP. It naturally has security attack +1, which is great to be aggressive. And then it has the effect when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. If this effect does not delete a Digimon, this gains plus 3,000 DP for the turn. So this is another one of those where it's actually kind of better that you missed the deletion effect, because then you're 14,000 DP. If you have any DP boost at all, you're like 15,000. So it's a pretty good safe threshold to swing into security to make sure all your effects go off. Again, this is another great way to utilize Blitz off Takato, because this lets you be aggressive with a lot of checks. It's really awesome there. Then we have Gallantmon X, 4 memory to Digivolve over a level 5 that is red, 12,000 DP, but it Digivolves for only 1 from Gallantmon. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. If no Digimon is deleted by this effect, unsuspend this Digimon. Your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, if Gallantmon or X Antibody is in this Digimon Digivolution cards, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So either way, this is awesome. If it doesn't delete, you get to unsuspend and do more checks. If it does, you get to trash your opponent's security, which is really good for lethal ender. It's really great as a follow-up tool, which is why I like it at 3. And then finally, we have our level 7, which is Gallantmon Crimson mode. 6 memory to Digivolve over a level 6, but it is really useful with 15,000 DP. And then when Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. And then when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack, add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. This is worded a little differently from the Gallantmon from 1.0 that makes this a lot better. It will by default always trash one thing. So if you have 10 cards in trash, it is now trashing 2. So that makes it a lot easier to get lethal early out with this card, which is why it's fantastic, incredible, and I really like it at 2 copies. Now that the Digimon are out of the way, let's look at our options. We have one delicate plan. This card has fallen off, but with Metal Gurimon predicted to be the best deck in the format, a lot of people are thinking of running security control right now because that kind of counters it, or at least is able to keep up with it. So if that does see a surge in popularity, delicate plan becomes a really great one-off to safely swing into security. Between this and between safely trashing security, at least one off of Gallantmon X, you have a pretty great matchup into it and a lot of answers to it. So I really like it as a one-off just because you're not going to need it into every deck. Then we have Red Memory Boost. This searches the top 4 cards of your deck for a red Digimon, and you can delay it later to gain 2 memory. When paired with all your memory gain effects on your level 4s and level 5s, this lets you extend your turn by a lot. So not only does this increase your consistency, it helps you go for a game in a single turn, potentially. So it's a fantastic option to put in at 3. And then we have the X Antibody. This lets you put itself underneath one of your Digimon, and then when attacking, Digivolve up into the X Antibody Digimon. Fantastic synergy, especially with Takato, but mostly this is just like it ups your plan and lets you activate some of your effects early if you don't see the corresponding vanilla version of the Digimon underneath it. Fantastic card. And finally, we have our Tamers. Here's the MVP Takato that we've been talking about all day. 3 memory to play. Your turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory, and then your turn, when one of your Digimon will Digivolve into a Digimon with Gallantmon or Growlmon in its name, that Digimon gains 1 Digivolving Blitz for the turn. So that is for the turn, so do keep in mind that that is important in case you Digivolve into something else and then go into the trying to activate the Blitz. So Takato is really useful to give a lot of synergy to the effects in this deck, and then help you use them faster than if you would have to wait a couple turns, because you don't have to worry about your memory as much, and he gains you memory. So this guy enables a lot of aggression in the deck, a lot of control options. It's really important. I think if it wasn't so tight on space, we could totally justify this at 4, but otherwise I think 3 is a really great ratio and perfectly usable. Then we have Cool Boy. This guy's amazing. He's only 2 memory, but he extends and draws you so much, it's ridiculous. Yeah, he searches the X Antibody option, he searches your X form Digimon. When you Digivolve into those over the same level, you get to draw 1 and gain a memory. It's just ridiculous. You need to run it if you're running X Antibody based decks, because it does so much for you in terms of draw and extending your turn. So that is going to be the profile. This is a really fun deck. The new support has really increased the power level of Gallantmon. I think it's a solid contender for like bottom of 1.5, very high tier 2. It's a great deck that is able to answer a lot of stuff in the format now with this new support. A lot more consistency, a lot more potential to kill earlier, play into a lot of the stuff that it wanted to do earlier that was either too slow or too expensive. You know, a lot of it is just way more easier for the deck to achieve now. I love it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Tamers is my favorite season of the anime, and I love the main cast, so it's really cool to see this continually getting support. Let me know how you guys are building Gallantmon and if you're doing anything differently in the comments below. I'll see you next time, and until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.